I want to start with say how important it is that we have this conversation here today, because those who are speaking out against the crime of genocide are under attack. Human rights activists, scholars, they're facing the threat of being fired, of being silenced, or even being killed. And this is not only happening in the occupied Palestinian territory, it is also happening in Europe and here in the US. I'm here on behalf of Law for Palestine to talk about the situation through the lens of international law framework and on the crime of genocide, and to speak on the failure of the international community to hold Israel accountable for 75-year-long settler colonial regime, its 56-year illegal occupation of Palestinian territory, and its 16-year-long siege of the Gaza Strip. Its impunity over decades of international crimes, including crime of apartheid, has accumulated in the past months of horrific violence, including war crimes, crimes against humanity, and a crime of genocide, now all conducted with impunity. Because it should be clear, based on the legal research that Law for Palestine has conducted, what we're witnessing now is a crime of genocide. The indiscriminate bombing of Palestinian people, medical service not being able to respond to the people who are still trapped under the rubble, so on the crime of genocide. Genocide requires both the intent and the act to happen. And as Dr. Rasagal already mentioned, it's written in the Genocide Convention that the key actions include the killing of individuals, the inflicting of serious physical and psychological harm on them, and the intentionally creating living conditions designed to destroy the group, either whole or in part. And according to our legal research, and comparing them with the facts on the ground, we have come to the conclusion that Israel is deliberately inflicting these three conditions on the Palestinian people. Based on the collected evidence, usually the intent to destroy is the most difficult part to prove, because you really have the intent to destroy in whole or in particular group. But in this case, as Ras already mentioned, the intent by the Israeli leaders has been very explicit. By the Prime Minister, by the President, by senior cabinet members, and by military leaders. We've collected so far over 500 statements that demonstrate this intent, often of those who are in the chain of command. Raphael Lemkins, the author of the genocide, has written that the crime of genocide is not limited to the acts of mass killing, but must encompass a coordinated plan, aimed at destructing the essential foundations of the lives of the national and ethnic group. In Gaza, we've seen explicit evidence of Israel's plan and its continued execution of this plan. An example of this is Israel's 70-year-old Dahiya doctrine, a military strategy of disproportionate force to weaken the population, to a point where mere survival supersedes resistance. For the past 8 weeks, we've seen this doctrine into force, including Israel's announcement of a total siege of Gaza. The Genocide Convention has 152 signatories as of date, meaning that 152 members recognize the importance of preventing the crime of genocide from happening. Since its inception in 1948, it has become customary international law, which has also been reiterated by the ICJ on numerous occasions. So this means that not only 152 signatory states are obliged to comply with the convention, but that all member states of the international community are obliged to comply. Palestinians face structural discrimination, including crime of apartheid, discriminatory laws, settler violence in the West Bank and in East Jerusalem, house demolition, destruction of villages and forced evictions, and the detention of thousands of Palestinians without a charge, often on the basis of administrative detention. All these elements make Palestinian daily life a struggle. And therefore, our action shouldn't stop with stopping the crime of genocide, but also with upholding the Palestinian right to self-determination. Because multiple UN General Assembly and UN Security Resolutions have reiterated this right, and also outlined in the mandate of the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People that's hosting today's event. That the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination is inalienable, obligatory on all members of the international community, to build a case against the perpetrators of this crime of genocide, and to see that they're brought to justice. Thank you.